Anyway, let's go ahead and start.
Ready for battle. Ready for battle.
Whatever awaits us, I am prepared.
Okay, good trap spot, but place your mine there. Are you going up top to do that? Time for Professor Jacklz. We do use the Professor skin. Oh yeah, Crimson. What rank is this again? Did you say you were gold?
3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend
So,
objective A.
you know, like I just mentioned, if you're gonna put your trap at the door, put the mine. If you saw the beginning of the King's Row game that we had just now, you typically, in higher ranks, you really don't want to start up there. You want to be behind this choke point. You play high silver, but this is unranked. Oh, is it quick play? Okay. Um, since we're already going, I'll keep the review, but probably should have specified is uh competitive is the best place to get VODs to review because you know that the other team is like actively trying to win, whereas in quick play people can just kind of troll. And they don't really test your skill much. Um, but yeah, I didn't notice it is quick play. Okay. Anyway, we'll continue. So yeah, you typically want to come back here and spam the doorway. Because if someone doesn't notice the trap, they get trapped. You detonate the mine, and then you spam your nades. Spam your nades like at about like. Wish I had the crosshair. It's like right here. You spam your nades, and they go over and they hit the door where your trap is. So just like I've spawn killed Zarya's because they step in the trap, they get hit by the mine, and then they get hit by the following nades. So, um, you don't want to be playing up here because in higher ranks you will get instantly killed. Nice though, nice opening. And be careful of that Ash up top. Also, are you on controller? Okay, so, one thing you were doing, it's typical of lower rank players to do this. I mean, I still do it sometimes as well. And you'll see it happen with tracers too. You're on controller? Okay. So when you're up here, you're kind of looking for stuff to shoot, but um what I would be doing in this instance, since the Rhine isn't really targetable, see if you can hit this life weaver back here. So aim up, try to go for the life weaver. You want to maximize the amount of nades you're putting out as Junkrat. You just want to keep throwing out, keep shooting, maximize your chances of hitting something. So when you're looking around for a target to shoot, make sure you find one quickly and keep shooting. Obviously, if no one's coming, you know, like if they're respawning and they're waiting, or your team's waiting, you know. But most of the time, you want to keep shooting. And then here you can hear the Hanzo coming, but that's part of game sense. And lower ranked players typically aren't in tuned with, you know, hearing flanking footsteps, things like that, Reaper TPing, other, you know. So just be aware of those footstep audio cues. Because once you utilize those, you become more aware of your surroundings, and that'll help you gain rank. Also, so you turn to shoot the Hanzo. You still have one nade left here. You should be, if you're gonna throw a mine at the Hanzo, you should also be shooting a grenade. The only exception is if you're reloading and he catches you off guard. But you hold your nade here instead of shooting it at him. If you had shot a nade there, you might have been able to combo him. And then you get a little lost as to where he goes, but you're limited on controller. How quickly you can follow your target. And here you also don't shoot, like you're fully reloaded. You have a concussion mine. You don't shoot your nades immediately. You need to be shooting your grenades here. You're just throwing your mine at him, and you need to be shooting these nades. And then you also shoot one grenade and reload. I don't know if you're panicking because the Hanzo was there and then Reinhardt charges up. But don't do that. Keep those grenades flowing. You need to be shooting. Also, it might help if you, I don't know if you click your mouse each time to shoot, but I noticed some of your consecutive grenades, they're not being shot as fast as they can, which means you're clicking. You just didn't want to be caught empty. Yeah, I mean, I get that. But in that instance, you need to be, when Hanzo's that close, you need to be shitting out those nades. Yeah, see, you're not shooting your nades again. Your concussion mine was good, but it was a little short. So, if you shot your grenade at the Lifeweaver and threw your mine detonated at the time the nade hit him, you'd get the kill on the Lifeweaver, and then he wouldn't have this pedal. Also, if you're gonna place a trap somewhere, you need to make sure that if someone were to step in it, that you can back it up. So you need to play in a spot where you can back it up. When you were up here, went a little too far back. Place your trap there, that's fine. But you're not playing to where you can easily, like, if someone gets trapped, it's going to take you time to get LOS back to your trap. So you need to play and watch your trap. Because it's a free, if someone steps in it, it's a free kill, essentially. Yeah, if you shot your nade at that life over here, would have got you. Or, I mean, you would have got him.
Buckle my shoe. There's mayhem to do.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Nice. A little early on the concussion mine on the Hanzo, and you also, once again, did not shoot your grenade. So
Tickle their feet.
right there, you can tell, I can tell that you're clicking to shoot, at least in this instance, because you're not shooting the grenades as fast as you can. And right here, as soon as you clear this wall, you need to start shooting. Because this Rhine's almost dead. If you shot as soon as you could have killed that Rhine and saved your Ana.
My left.
Also, right there, you detonated your concussion mine a bit too early. Um, and here I can kind of tell you're panicking a little bit simply because of how much is going on. But if you're gonna, first of all, if you're gonna place your trap, place it in the doorway. It looks like you messed up your trap placement a little bit. It was just because you were probably overwhelmed in the moment. But the dynamite, it's gonna destroy your trap too. So if you register that the can't speak. If you register that the dynamite is there, it's not really worth putting your trap down unless the Reinhardt is actively pursuing you or the Hanzo. It looks like Hanzo might be trying to come in. But you don't just want to slap it down. Yeah, because Hanzo's keeping his distance. Now, when you detonate your concussion mine, you're going to send enemies flying. You want to reflexively aim up so that they get booped into your next grenade, essentially. So you detonate. Detonation's good. You shoot, which is good, but you don't aim up. So the shot that also, by the way, the shot didn't appear. Replay bug, I guess. You need to be looking up to where your concussion mine is going to send them. Now you want to be careful here because the Ash, you're on fire. You're half health. I don't think you're going to die from the fire tick damage, but the Ash is right here. When you deploy your tire, unless you immediately turn it into the wall, it's going to come out. In a higher rank, this Ash would instantly one-tap your tire. Lifeweaver too. Like, they would both be looking at this doorway, instantly destroy your tire. So, you have to be careful of where you deploy your tire and how you peek it if you have to exit it from a doorway. But since this is a lower rank, you can get away with some stuff like that.
I did it, man.
And I can see playing this game on a controller, in my opinion, is just not how this game. Like, it's so hard to react quickly on controller. And you can see that in your movements when you reach these close quarters areas. You're whiffing your mine placement, you're panic placing your trap. You can see the controller holding you back. So I don't really blame you for that, but it's just something to take note of. And right here, I'm not quite sure why you threw this mine. Unless you wanted to jump yourself backwards, but you didn't detonate it. And if you put it there for the Ash, she wasn't really close enough to follow you in there, because let me rewind it a little bit.
And around we go.
You put it there in case she came in. Yeah. Yeah. Because obviously you don't have X-ray, so you don't know if she's coming or not. But the last place you did see her was right here. It's going to take her a long time to get there. And this Hanzo's still behind you. Don't forget about him. So your concussion mine is actually more valuable if you don't place it here and turn around and contest the Hanzo. And try not to forget about who is contesting you from where. Because you forgot about the Hanzo, or maybe you didn't forget about him, but you didn't play like he was still behind you. And in this instance, when you did contest Hanzo, you didn't play like the Ashe was still behind you. So in both scenarios, it looked like you completely forgot that they were there or didn't care. So when you're contesting Hanzo in here, you panic because you don't want him to kill you, but you walk out in full view of the Ashe who's still there. My advice for this is you play this library, camp this health pack, and strafe, jump whatever to try and get Hanzo to miss his shots. Health pack comes back, you heal, and then hopefully you hit some grenades to kill the Hanzo. Seems like you get really bad tunnel vision. Could be. I mean, so since you are in higher ranks, it becomes a lot easier to keep track of who's where simply because you've gained that game sense. So you may not know that the Ashe was there, or you forgot about her, or you tunnel visioned, or whatever. But as you get more awareness to your surroundings, you learn to take account for that and then play accordingly. And that will help you up the ranks.
This situation calls for more bombs. The pleasure is mine. If Mom could see me now.
Nice. Damn, your Orisa just got a triple. Be careful when contesting Hanzo as Junkrat, by the way, because as you climb the ladder, Hanzo will decimate Junkrat. So this is not it's not a bad spot, but you want to be careful about how long you stay up here. Because keep in mind where the payload is. If the payload was, say, like here, right in this choke point, or maybe just a little bit past, you could spend some more time playing up here, because you've got this window to like look a little bit into there, and then you've got this window over here to look down and look down here. But the payload is around this corner, so you're not really going to be doing much back here unless you're going for a spawn camp or you're going to tire from behind. So, because every second that you are on the flank or not shooting the front line, your team is missing a lot of its damage. Because sometimes the difference between a team making their push and, I don't know, like delaying them by 20 seconds is one grenade. Maybe Zarya takes spam from Zen and gets hit by one of your grenades, and she has to wait behind a corner because she's low health, or she just used her shield so they can't push in. Or maybe, I don't know, Hanzo's trying to get in position to back up a Dragon Strike, or back up a grab with Dragon Strike or something, and he takes a grenade and can't get the position he needs because you were behind your tanks shooting forward. Simply, sometimes, simply just, even if they have a Reinhardt blocking the damage, your grenades coming out from behind your tanks is enough to slow them down. You always want to delay their push, buy as much time as you can, to prevent them from pushing cart. So if you can buy time, get some kills, you know, whatever. That'll help your team immensely. And imagine as well if you have a Baptiste and Baptiste just unexpectedly places a damage boost field right by your tank. Well, you're all the way up here. Now, what if the enemy team sees that and goes, "Oh shit, Bap field, we need to push past it." Well, if you were with your team and you were shooting grenades into that Baptiste field the moment it appeared, you might have killed 3 people. All that is to say, if you're going to flank and not play behind your team, make sure what you're doing is worth it. It's one of the reasons why I don't flank and I don't play up here at these angles when the team is far away. It's because I feel like I'm losing value for my team. Yeah, this is just what I was talking about. Reinhardt shadowed 3 of your team. It looks like they're all going to die. Now imagine you were behind your Orisa and you were constantly shooting Rein's shield. He might not have had the confidence to push up and try shatter. He would have been like, "Oh shit, guys, my shield's low. Hold on. Let me heal it back up." It would buy more time for maybe your Tracer to get a kill with her Pulse Bomb. Or Wu Yang almost has his ultimate, so he's going to get some more heals. And I wonder who he would ult here. But you guys do end up winning here, which is nice. Did get the Rein. The enemy team was not ready. Also, once again, remember where you place your trap. Because in a lot of these instances where you're suddenly taking a lot of damage, you panic place your trap and then you forget where it is. You go down and get the health pack and you're sitting here. What you need to do now after getting this health pack is go back onto these stairs, watch your trap. Maybe hide a little bit around the corner so they don't see you. But watch your trap. Because Ashe steps in it. Now, if you were on these stairs ready to back up your trap, you would have got a free kill. There's no need for you to be waiting on the mini after you just got it. Unless your entire team gets wiped out. But even then, I'd still say, go for the Ashe. Also, place your trap. You need to set your trap down. One of the best places for your trap is on the cart. Or in the area of maximum foot traffic. That will maximize your chances to get someone trapped. So, the King's Row cart, though, the trap on the cart strat tends to work better when the cart is lower down to the ground, when basically any character can just do a simple jump and get up on top of the entire thing. King's Row cart, along with the Shambali cart, the Dorado cart, they're like 2-level carts. So it's a little bit tricky when to place like how successful those traps can be, simply because they're higher up off the ground. But the cart still is, in my opinion, on payload, the best place, other than if there's another spot your team is fighting at for your trap. Because if we go and visit real quick, third point, one of the best places, 2 of the best places for Junk's trap is right here and right here. Reason being is, 1, because of how this grate here is textured, Junkrat's trap isn't too easy to see. Same thing goes here. But also, people are coming down. Where are they looking? They're probably like what at this height level? They're looking up here, 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 and maybe here if this is where the cart is. They're not looking at the ground where your trap is. So they're coming through, they step in it. If you watch me enough and you see enough Kings Row games, you'll see that the trap here and the trap here are very successful. Because they're just not watching for it. So this kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the game. Shoot some nades, dog. You place your trap out, but then you just leave. What's that gonna do? They're gonna maybe someone steps in it. Okay. What's that gonna do? Now imagine if you were down here with your Orisa shooting grenades into the front line. Their Reinhardt would be more reluctant to push forward. The squishies behind the Reinhardt would also be reluctant to stay behind the Reinhardt because his shield's getting battered. Meanwhile, you're up here throwing a trap into their backline that no one's going to step in. If you're going to come to this window, shoot some nades. I know you're afraid of the Hanzo and the Ashe. Okay, you got someone. But what are you going to do? You can't do anything. Nice. Got the Hanzo with that.
Meet your fate.
Such perfidy cannot go unanswered.
I can kind of see what you want to do. But I think you need more game sense to pull it off.
My ultimate's ready.
And also, you need to be playing on PC. Controller is really holding you back. Also, I think this jump here is kind of unnecessary. You don't need to do it. And you end up just wasting a concussion mine. Go to Dr. Dima. We're doing a VOD review right now. So you end up wasting a concussion mine. But if you're gonna do this in the first place, yeet your trap out there. Yeet your trap out there and keep watch to see if someone steps in it. But also, you've got a Reinhardt right here. You got to respect that Reinhardt. And you have Hanzo and Ashe in a straight fucking line. You know what happens if you're like if you're in a higher rank? Instantly dead. If you do this. So you have to respect the characters you're going up against, or you will be punished for it. And this Rein, funnily enough, in a higher rank, it would have been these guys back here that killed you, not the Rein.
Buckle my shoe. There's mayhem to do. What a load. Blasting up. Don't tell anyone.
Oh shit, mine's going in. Alright, so here's the thing. as soon as you see this happen, you need to instantly target that Rhine. Freest kill in the world, it's 5v5, enemy tank goes down, fight is done. You win. This Rhine fucked up majorly. You need to capitalize off of this. He is so far out of position. The only way he lives is if Lifeweaver grips him back. But instead, you go up here and ignore the Rhine. I don't know why. Presumably because you have Tire and you feel like you need to deploy it from a safe spot like up here. But yeah, one of Junkrat's. So Junkrat is a character designed around like spamming and area denial. Most of Junkrat's shots will miss. So, how do you hit more shots? Shoot more grenades. The biggest problem I see in this game is that you are not shooting enough grenades. You are in the wrong spots. I see the ideas you're going for, but you need to know how to prioritize what to go for, and that's something that also comes with climbing the ladder. Lower ranks, you know, they're not really going to know what they should be doing, how to do it, whatever. As you get higher and higher, you will learn what you need to prioritize. And here in this game, you need to prioritize shooting more grenades into the enemy team. That Reinhardt charging past you, easiest free kill in the world, but you went up top to shoot 3 grenades that hit off this wall and don't even go towards the payload. So shoot more grenades. Try sticking with your team more and shoot more grenades into the enemy team. Because this Reinhardt is not being pressured the way he should be. Because look at your team comp here. You have Ana, Wu Yang, Tracer, Orisa. And they have Juno, Lifeweaver, Mei, Ashe. So really the only one that's going to be contesting the Rhine is the Orisa. But she can't really do much to break his shield. That's where you come in. Reinhardt's going to try and gain all the position he can. Orisa can only do so much before Rhine puts his shield up and then it's a big wall. You need to break that wall by shooting him. That is your job. You are the Junkrat. He is the Reinhardt. You could ult from the Ana corner. The Ana corner? Now see, you're starting to attack the Rhine here. That's good. But it's too late. Team just capped.
Meet your fate.
Fire in the hole!
Juno was clueless. Now, these flank tires, they're a good idea. They can work. The other Junkrats make them work as well. But just be careful because, as usual, as you climb the ladder, these things that you're doing will get punished more and more. And when you deployed your tire, by the way, you were way too close to the outside. You need to be like right here. Am I reviewing somebody's game? I am, yes. We're doing a VOD review right now. Oh, when the Rhine charged in. You were hoping to grab more with that tire, but you didn't want to get it sniped. Oh, believe me, the number one thing I'm thinking of when I'm using my tire is I need to detonate this thing before it gets sniped. Randomly killed because there's no feedback when the tire takes damage, so you don't know its health. So I get it. But In a higher rank, their Ashe over here would be pushed up kind of where the Mei is and the Orisa is. As soon as you drive your tire out of this doorway, instantly sniped. Tire's dead. You gotta be really careful where you do these things.
Caught beneath the wave.
But it works out. You get the Juno. Now, if you're going to be making these flank plays, I would say jump up there and contest the Lifeweaver. But only if you know where the Ashe is. Because if you jump up there and Ashe is somewhere where you didn't expect, you're two tapped, dead. Nice. Ryan could have lived some more there. He just kind of gave up, it looked like. Yeah, so you're not shooting your grenades again. And even when you're peeking the enemy and you're looking at them, you're still not shooting. You're waiting a second. And also, I know the controller kind of limits you on this, but when you want to jump up with your concussion mine, you got to do it fast. You can't be doing it that slow. I assume you were gonna try to hit the Rhine with that concussion mine. Good idea. I do that a lot as well, but you threw it too high. Try to get behind the shield. Yeah. It's a great way to, if you know he has Earth Shatter, it's a great way to delay his Earth Shatter, because there's been so many times where I'll boop a Ryan into the air by throwing my mine behind his shield right as he shatters, and my team has an extra second and a half to dodge the shatter, depending on how far he gets booped.
Not the last.
Can't wait.
This is a good spot. This is good right here. This is really good gameplay. But it's not anymore, because this Rhine a bunch has. Listen, you can hear him charging. You can hear him charging, and you know, as I said near the beginning, you'll get this awareness as you climb the ranks and be more tuned in for audio cues. You can hear the Rhine charging underneath, and he pins your Orisa. Orisa starts screaming. You need to be turning now to try to find where that Rhine went and back up your Orisa. Because now look, he's used Shatter and your team is down on the ground. This Rhine, he's just over half health. If you hit some grenades, if you hit one grenade and a concussion mine into him while he's charging, now he has this much health. And maybe he still shatters, maybe he doesn't. Maybe another grenade that you shot at him kills him during his shatter and he doesn't land it. So many things could be happening here. Like, the domino effect in this game is huge. Nice, but once again, you didn't shoot a grenade at your trapped enemy. Okay.
Unavoidable.
You didn't really need tire there. But you should have driven your tire a little bit more to get the Juno. Ashe needs to 2-tap your tire. Earlier when I was saying 1-tap, I'm saying one tap because there's multiple people there that are going to be looking at it. This Juno just came out of spawn. She's healing her Ashe. At this rank, she's not going to be able to react that quickly. So you could have driven your tire a little bit further to get both of those players. Ashe would not have been able to shoot that twice in that amount of time. Not bad though. And here you're going for the flank play. Now, never emote, because it takes an hour for these emotes to end. Whoa, camera thing. And what if you emoted, and then suddenly Lifeweaver Juno comes back around the corner and starts healing? Or maybe they somehow knew you were there and they start shooting you, and you're laying down in a corner. There are a few characters in very few select spots that benefit from emoting like that. One of them is Rialto. It is Roadhog on Rialto first point. There's a doorway where when you emote there, you can abuse the third person camera to view the entire bridge and people walking up, so you know when to stop emoting, and you can get a free hook kill by hooking them off the map with it. So I would advise not emoting like this. Because unless the replay is bugged, you're not even using the third person camera to look around this corner. But also, remember what I've been saying this whole game? You know, keep shooting your grenades. This Orisa, currently fighting the Reinhardt by himself. What are you doing, man? Why are you in this corner laying down doing nothing when you could be shooting the Reinhardt and helping your Orisa play the game? In one of my other VOD reviews, I mentioned that there was too much nothing going on. And right now, there is too much nothing going on from your perspective. You need to be doing something. You need to be shooting grenades, throwing concussion mines, something. Not emoting in this corner doing nothing. You don't even have Riptire. It would maybe be different if you were like on the high ground, around a corner safely, emoting because you had Riptire and you were trying to see where they were so you would know when to deploy it. But you don't even have that. Fortunately, your team is winning because your Tracer's destroying. But what if they needed help? I'm not sure where you wanted to jump there, but you bumped your head. That just like, you know, awareness comes as you rank. You'll know where you are most of the time. I mean, sometimes I still get mixed up, but you bumped your head because you didn't know quite where you were under there. Pharah's trapped. You left your trap. See, that's another thing. You know, you did this earlier. Did it again here. If you place your trap, watch it. Because how is that any useful to you how is that any use to you if Pharah steps in your trap and then she just goes free? I mean, I guess you know she's there, but you would know she's there if she destroyed your trap as well. So if you're going to place your trap somewhere, make sure that if someone gets trapped, you can gain LOS to your trap within half a second. Because in an additional 2 seconds, they're gone. They're free.
60 seconds.
Yo! Nice, dude. best play of the VOD.
remaining.
So, you are fighting way too close here. Where is your Orisa? She's dead. Okay. Goes back to what I said a little earlier as well. Respect the characters that you go up against. You are fighting point blank in front of a Reinhardt. You are not going to win that. Plus, Lifeweaver's here. Is that Juno back there? And then you have Pharah shooting rockets in as well. I assume, I don't know, maybe you were trying to delay the payload. But you don't want to. Most of the time, it's better to fall back and regroup with your team. Sometimes it can be beneficial if maybe you didn't die with your team, and so you're kind of stuck on their side of the map, trying to buy time for tank. Yeah, that's exact. So sometimes delaying the payload like that and staying ahead is good, but it depends what your team has coming up. Right here, your team has no ultimates except for Wu Yang. So you have to, when you want to do something like this, you have to weigh, okay, what ults do we have? What strats do we have coming up? Is me stalling this payload going to be worth it? Now, maybe they didn't cap second point yet. Maybe Orisa's right at this corner and you're over here stalling the cart. You die, but Orisa manages to run to the cart and save them from capping second. They kill everyone, they win. Something like that is worth it. But I think right here in this specific scenario, it was not worth you dying here. You needed to fall back and regroup with your team when your Orisa died. You know, jump up here. This high ground here, and that high ground, this high ground over here, are two of the best places for like, this is basically where the only spot that I play on King's Row 3rd is this and that. Even if they're running a Widowmaker or an Ashe, someone that has Hanzo as well, someone that has this sightline distance, I play here on the very corner of this fucking thing here. So they have the tiniest angle, and even then I will shoot and I'll drop down for a second and then I'll jump back up and go right back up again. That is how you play it. So fall back, take these higher angles, spam from afar, see what they're running, see if you can gauge if, like, I don't know, someone has their ultimate or something. Maybe Pharah hasn't ulted in a while and you think it's coming up. So just fall back with your team, take these high grounds and spam, and don't die. Not in this scenario, at least.
I'll keep trying till I run out of limbs.
Remaining.
Okay. You're not shooting grenades. This is the biggest problem of this game. You simply just don't shoot grenades. Start doing that. Also, you can hear Pharah right here. Don't be so tunnel visioned on jumping up here. Because as soon as you get here, you need to look up and assess what the Pharah is doing. Because half a second later,
10 seconds remaining.
she uses barrage. So if you were still down on the ground assessing the situation, seeing what was going on, you could then see Pharah ulting, be like, oh shit, easy free kill, and then you use one concussion mine to get yourself into the air next to the Pharah, and then you nade mine her with the combo, and she's dead instantly, and you save your team. Now, does anyone die from the barrage? yes, you're on it.
Tick-tock.
And
We gotta win.
here, you know, you just don't shoot your grenade. So you shot your grenade at the Life Weaver, but it was early, and it wasn't in the right spot.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Also, we are at the bottom of the fucking map.
Fire in the hole.
I can also see you did not take the Nitro Boost perk. Nice.
Ripper.
Gotta stop that
Okay.
payload.
One thing to be careful of in 5v5, and I mean, you saw me do it in the Kings Row game I just played. When you rip tire a tank, you need to make sure that they will die. Reinhardt does not die at full health to Junkrat's rip tire. And in 5v5, if you waste your rip tire, done. In fact, I would argue and say that Nitro Boost is even more important of a perk to take. In rather than because like you're using mine recycling, which it's not terrible, but Nitro Boost is just by far the clear winner. But I would say Nitro Boost in 5v5 is far more important to take because you are more than likely not going to kill a tank with your rip tire because most of the tanks in 5v5 cannot be one-shot by Junk's tire. The tanks that can be one-shot, like Zarya and Queen, both have abilities to prevent them from getting one-shot by the tire. So what you should be doing here is taking Nitro Boost. When you get Rip Tire, Nitro Boost it straight into that Ashe or into the Pharah. Preferably the Ashe, because she's going to be harder to deal with. In higher ranks, hit scan characters like Ashe, and Soldier, Widow, Hanzo even, those are like priority number 1 to Rip Tire. Because those characters, they will take an off angle and they have the range to dominate from that off angle. So your team will be stuck getting shot from, you know, Soldier over there, Ashe over here, and then the fucking tanks down the front line. So if you had Nitro Boost here, you use your tire, Nitro Boost it into the Ashe, and then get out of spawn and go assault the Reinhardt with your nade launcher. Because, so you took mine recycling as well, by the way. I didn't see that perk benefit you once this game. And how many rip tires did you deploy this game? Like 3, 4 maybe? I think you will benefit a lot more from Nitro Boost. And I would suggest in the games you play from here on out, take Nitro Boost. See what it does for you. Look for characters, and this is coming from a champ Junk player. Thanks, Ralph. Take Nitro Boost. Look for players holding off angles, characters like Sojourn, Soldier, Ashe, Widowmaker, Hanzo. Look for those characters, prioritize them. Maybe if you know Lucio has Sound Barrier or Juno has her ult, prioritize those. But if you stick around and watch me enough, you will see that if anyone is ever on that off angle and I have my rip tire, they are dead. I will go for them 99% of the time because they will be an issue. And as you climb the ladder, they will be more and more of an issue. Me sitting through this whole review and have zero plans to use any of this info? Well, Eddie, you don't play the game, so it's okay. So, to wrap it up, your biggest issues are you're not shooting enough grenades, you are flanking too much, or you are out of the fight too much, such that the enemy team has the confidence to push up because they're not taking damage from you. Back up your tanks more, back up your team more. If your team dies, back up to regroup with your team in the majority of scenarios. If you throw your trap out somewhere, make sure that if you're gonna break LOS from where your trap is, make sure you can re-peek your trap within a second so that you can follow it up if anyone steps in it, because it is a free kill. And most importantly, I'll say it again, shoot more grenades. A lot of these people you throw concussion mines at, you do not shoot grenades at them. Start shooting them. And when you do, after you detonate your concussion mine, make sure you aim up and shoot another grenade, because the concussion mine will then blast them into the next grenade. Also, if you're able to, ditch the controller. I can't remember if you play on console or if you're on PC using a controller, but get rid of it. A controller in this game will hinder you. Even the guy Joystick doesn't use a controller anymore. And when he did, he played Reinhardt, so it wasn't really that important to use mouse and keyboard. You're on PC with a controller. Okay, ditch it. Get rid of it. Only use the controller for console games. A controller from this VOD, a controller is holding you back. You might feel like you're better with a controller. Maybe you don't want to adjust to mouse and keyboard, but it will be worth it. You will see a substantial increase in your gameplay because from this VOD, you're too slow. Your movement is too slow. Like your camera movement is too slow. You cannot react to things quick enough because the controller just simply isn't a good method of input for this game. Expecting a VOD review and then starts roasting platform preferences. I'm serious though. In a fast-paced game like Overwatch, using a controller on a character like Joystick made it work because he played Reinhardt, and Reinhardt isn't as aim intensive. Now, Joystick might have a different opinion as to whether or not how important like keyboard mouse was versus controller for Reinhardt. But playing characters like Winston, Reinhardt, anything that has like a relax in aim. Now, Junkrat kind of does have a relax in aim, but don't forget about his concussion mine. Junkrat's movement with his concussion mine and being able to follow up on people that get blown up into the air by it, you need to have fast movement for that. And controller joysticks, they can't keep up. You tried keyboard and mouse, but you just you weren't adept at it. But you have been putting quite a bit of work into getting used to keyboard and mouse recently, just a bit scared of playing Overwatch with it. Well, you gotta rip off the band-aid, you gotta do it. Because controller will hold you back in this game. And, you know, COD Code, he's another Junk player. If you haven't heard of him, he was on console for the longest time. He played Junkrat on controller. And he plays on PC now. He uses mouse and keyboard. but he was GM Junkrat on controller. So he had the mechanical skill to make it work. So it's not impossible, but I can see from this VOD that a controller is holding you back. Honestly, you're kind of surprised this far you made it this far on controller. Well, I mean, like I just mentioned with COD code, some people can make it work. Others, it's just not it's not what works for them. It was good gameplay. Yeah, it wasn't like this wasn't a bad VOD. It's just you can very visibly see the slowness that the controller forces you to work with. Because I can see some of the plays that you want to make, but you can't make it because you either panic or you don't have the movement for it because just the controller just isn't the right method of input. So here's my challenge for you. Work on your mouse and keyboard more. Play Overwatch with mouse and keyboard. Shoot more grenades. Oh yeah, and try to be more in tune with those audio cues. Like with Hanzo flanking up top. Reinhardt charging underneath you, pinning your Orisa. Be more in tune with that. Oh yeah, and don't emote in a corner. I don't know if the replay wasn't showing me your camera. Maybe you were looking around the corner. But even if you were, you still weren't contributing to that fight where your Orisa and Tracer were owning. What if they needed help and you're AFK in a corner? So don't do that. Even if you want to try to get a big tire from behind, you want to minimize the time that you're AFK.